This single location Italian restaurant grew their sales by $7,000 in 45 days through launching their own branded app. And that's just one example from the thousands of restaurants that I've seen do that over the past 6 years. Should restaurants really have their own apps? I used to think the answer was no, but then I saw the numbers before and after and now realize why it's so important. So in this video, I'm going to share the shocking reason why restaurants need their own app to survive over the next 5 years. Plus, how to get your restaurant its own app in less than 7 days for less than $1,000, and how you can steal the secrets that big brands like Domino's and Chipotle have used to drive more sales using their apps, plus the surprising reason why an app could actually kill your restaurant if done incorrectly. So let's dive in. The story of that Italian restaurant I mentioned at the beginning is the story of Antoinette Belvedere, the owner of Ottavio's. She was one of our earliest website online ordering customers and asked me in the early days to build her own app. And I thought there was no way people would want to add another app to their phone to order from this old school single location Italian restaurant. So I told her that nicely. The good news is Antoinette did not take no for an answer. She then said to me, but it's so much less convenient to order from our website and actually find that website than it is to order from an app. It's not about having multiple locations. It's about making it as easy as possible for the guests, like when I order from Starbucks. So that's what we did. We built out this branded app to test for Antoinette's location, not expecting much. The only way we promoted it was we put a tiny little banner at the bottom of Antoinette's website that said, order faster on our app. Then, over the next 30 days, our jaws dropped at the numbers because not only were people downloading her app, which was a huge shocker to me, but more than 50% of her direct online orders had shifted to ordering from her app. And they were ordering at such an increased frequency that she saw a $7,000 increase in those first 45 days in direct online ordering sales. And when you actually checked the reviews on the App Store for the Ottavio's app, she had all of these dozens of customers saying this was so much easier. Thank you for finally building your app. After that experience with Ottavio's, and now having seen the numbers behind the thousands of restaurant mobile apps that we've built, I've realized that there's 4 major benefits from the guest's perspective that are driving the app adoption. The first benefit, of course, is ease, because you're already signed in, it already knows what you've ordered in the past, and you can quickly breeze through the checkout process, which integrates with Google and Apple Pay. So it makes it much easier, not for first-time customers, because first-time customers aren't likely to want to download an app, but for the 80% plus of revenue that is made up by restaurant regulars. The second major benefit from the guest perspective is actually better value. When you order from an app, there's not the crazy fees that DoorDash or Uber Eats tax on. Those fees average 21% extra from the guest's perspective. 21% on the typical $50 online ordering transaction is more than $10 in extra fees that guests are paying to order from DoorDash or Uber Eats. Whereas when they order directly from your restaurant's app, they don't have to pay that $10 extra in order to get the easiest experience from the restaurant. The third major benefit is free food via the loyalty program, which feeds into better value. In order to get people to order from a restaurant's app, the restaurant often integrates in their loyalty program to give them free appetizers, beverages, or desserts every few orders to get them to want to order from that restaurant directly versus DoorDash or Uber Eats. And it is giving them those free items that creates an amazing experience in the guest's mind, because they're seeing that they're unlocking all of these menu items, which are priced between $5 and maybe $12 just for ordering from an app, which is more easy and better value from them. The fourth major benefit from the guest's perspective in ordering from that app is knowing that they're doing the right thing by that restaurant and their community. Most people will be ordering for the first 3 benefits, but about 10% of the population deeply cares about doing the right thing by the restaurant and knowing that they're supporting their community and supporting that restaurant owner that they know well by ordering directly from them, because that saves the restaurant in turn on fees. So it is the combination of those 4 benefits that makes apps a better experience from the guest's perspective. It's not just the guest that is benefiting, it's also the restaurant in some really big ways, starting with actually owning that customer relationship, meaning that when a guest orders from a restaurant on DoorDash or Uber Eats, they don't even share that customer's name with the restaurant anymore, not to mention their email address or phone number. So the most valuable asset of the restaurant, their customer relationship, gets lost to that third-party app. Versus when they order from the restaurant's app, you get all of that data and some. You get to know the customer's address so that you can understand where your customers are coming from and where that customer discovered you initially by asking them, how did you hear about us? As well as other key details which help you make more money from that customer relationship and deepen that relationship relationship over time. You can then plug that customer relationship into marketing automation, send them emails and text messages with upcoming holidays or new menu items or specials to keep up their engagement. But it's not just that customer data, it's also the ability to add in push notifications to have a deeper relationship with that guest. Push notifications are powerful because they can have open rates up to 60%, which is 3 times the average open rate of email campaigns. Better yet, they can be activated within 1 click from the home screen of the guest and bring them right into the ordering flow versus an email where they have to first open their inbox and then bring them to a website, and it takes a rigmarole to get them into the actual mobile app where ordering is so easy. Branded apps have another key restaurant benefit, which is that they make multi-location expansion so much easier. Here's what I mean. One of the restaurants that we've seen grow with their own branded mobile app is called Talkin' Tacos, which started in Miramar, Florida on our platform Owner.com about 4.5 years ago. They went from that single location to now having more than 13 locations and being on track to end this year at over 20. And a huge part of their growth strategy has been being extremely innovative with their technology stack, including having their own app. They have tens of thousands of guests throughout the South Florida region that have downloaded their app, where they're able to see those guest locations and where they tend to order from. And it is in using that location data that they can have a clear understanding of where they can expand in terms of different cities in order to serve where customers are already spending a lot of their time. It also helps them sell additional franchise locations because unlike most smaller franchises that are just starting to stand up their technology stack, they can say that they've invested in the state-of-the-art technology, have their own branded app with thousands of positive 5-star reviews in the App Store, that it makes guest ordering much easier and that it makes expanding into new locations much easier and makes them ramp faster because of that critical mass of customers that they've built up that have their app installed. The other massive benefit from the restaurant's perspective in having your own app is having a significantly higher portion of direct takeout sales, meaning that when you do takeout sales on DoorDash or Uber Eats, they dig into your margin really substantially with those 30% fees on every transaction. Even if you're increasing prices by 10% or 20% to offset that, they're dropping your margin profile really substantially. With an app though, that doesn't happen because you don't have to pay a tax on every order. It is a pure margin transaction as though it occurred within your dining room, but the massive benefit is that it doesn't take front of house staff to fulfill, it doesn't take comping a server to fulfill, and it is actually just off-premise takeout, which is the highest margin form of revenue that a restaurant can have as long as they're not having to pay these massive taxes on every transaction to DoorDash and Uber Eats. So it grows a significantly healthier margin profile that doesn't consume any space in your dining room or any server's time and makes your business model more efficient. The other undeniable proof point for restaurants having their own app is the fact that 100 out of 100 of the highest volume restaurants in the United States have their own app on the App Store. That would not be happening if apps weren't proven to massively increase sales, improve guest experience, and make the business more efficient. So now you're probably wondering, okay, Adam, I get why apps are important, but how do I go about achieving my own app? Because what used to happen when restaurants wanted their own app is they'd have to do what Sweetgreen did, where Sweetgreen in the early days spent millions of dollars hiring software engineers and designers and marketers to create their own app. But that no longer is the way that a restaurant can get their own app because companies have built what are called branded mobile app generators that take your restaurant's online experience from the web and port it into a mobile app version so that you're able to use the same online ordering system and integrations and loyalty system that works for your restaurant online without having to build custom infrastructure to do it, and in a way that you can have your own app for less than $1,000 in initial setup costs and less than 7 days. If you're considering getting your restaurant its own app, but still have questions about exactly how to do it and the most important parts, then my team put together what we call the restaurant app checklist, which goes through every necessary feature of an app and the different ways that you can achieve it. So if that sounds interesting to you, then click the link down in the comments below in order to download that free checklist that you can use to go through making this app decision. So once you've got your own app, you're probably thinking to yourself, how do I actually promote that app to make sure that my guests use it as the preferred way to order from my restaurant when off premise? And there's 3 big parts to it. The first is integrating that app into the other parts of your restaurant online, making sure that your website, when it notices people are visiting on a mobile device, actually shows guests a banner that says order faster on our app, click here to download it, or similar, that gets guests understanding the benefits. The second major way to promote it is to make your staff your ambassadors. So make sure that your team knows how to communicate about why guests should download your app to them when they're picking up the phone, because they're often answering online ordering questions on the phone, or when they're actually in the dining room talking to guests about ordering from that restaurant off premise. Another great thing that I've seen in terms of promoting the app within the 4 walls of the restaurant is actually setting up table tents and posters that say order faster and save money using our app, or similar, with a QR code to get guests to download that app. The third major factor in driving an app's adoption is actually incentivizing guests to use that app for the first time. Because if you know that you can increase your ordering frequency per guest by more than 50% if you can get them to download your app, as all of our data proves, then you also know that it's worth it to give those guests an incentive to order from your app for the first time, knowing that once they have that easy experience and start earning loyalty points, that they'll do it again and again and again. This might be a buy one, get one incentive, or a 20% off your first order incentive, or a $10 conversion card that you put into go bags that say order faster and save money on our app. Here's $10 on us for your first order to order directly, in order to drive that behavior. Once you're able to drive that initial behavior, you grow that guest's customer lifetime value and make them that much more likely to become a regular of your app, which then in the long term saves you huge amounts of money and justifies giving them $10 off or buy one, get one, or whatever the offer is that you use on the front end to get them to install the app. You heard me say earlier that there's one situation where it doesn't make sense to have an app, and it can actually kill the restaurant if you try and push it too hard. And that situation is if you have an extremely transient customer base. Like if your restaurant is in an airport or within Disney World and people are only there once every few months or few years, it doesn't make sense to force them to download an app to order from you, because that app is going to add too much friction for a business where the majority of your transactions are one-time transactions. Instead, apps make sense when you have most of your revenue coming from regulars, because they make the regular ordering experience easier and better value, and get regulars to order directly from you each time versus the third-party apps. We discussed the reasons why an app can grow your restaurant's sales in this video, but you might have noticed that the reasons all have to do with increasing the amount of ordering frequency and the ordering ease of your existing customers. So the next question on your mind, if you're trying to grow your restaurant sales, might be, okay, but how do we actually get more new customers? Which is why I created the video sharing the #1 best strategy for getting new customers online in 2024, sharing how to get your restaurant to show up at the top of Google without having to buy ads. So if you're interested in that video, I'm putting it to the right of me now. Click through onto it and take a look.